Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe for more tokusatsu content, and I thank you for your continued support. Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Spike 2.0 back again once again. And today, people, today we are here for Kamen Zeztz episode 29, and in this episode they are really hammering the trauma down on my boy Baku, man. They are really doing it to him. Like he's just when he thought he was good, just when he thought he was gonna be that guy, just because he thought he was gonna be, just when he thought he was gonna be like that rogue agent that was gonna take down Code, and he got his crew with him and all that jazz, man, oh man, bro, it's not looking good. Sieg got his own little nefarious plan going on in the background, and I hate this guy. I hate this guy. This dude is nefarious. This dude is just a whole big, I'm cussing, just a whole like asshole, because man, oh man, this guy really wanted to really hit Baku, man, because this was not cool. We find out that Minami is a secret agent. She is playing the secret agent role in this episode, and Nem was casted as her mom. But man, but for some reason, every time Baku goes into his dreams, every time he goes into a dream, he's not his agent self. He's his regular self in the real world. He doesn't have none of his gear or anything like that, and it seems like Minami is taking on the role of the secret agent. She has all the gear, she has the outfit, all that jazz, and Baku is trying to wonder what is going on. In the background of this, we see that Sieg is basically putting Odaka through it. He's putting him through it. He's making him fight a nightmare, and we see Zeztz. She comes in and she ends up snapping the capsum into. She ends up giving him the belt, and the driver, and she ends up snapping the capsum into the driver, allowing Nox to transform into his Kamen Rider form, but he's no longer Nox Shadow. He is now Nox Wolf, and he has equipped it with like an arm blade and everything. He comes in, he takes on the nightmare, and then we see that Sieg ends up taking out the nightmare, and Odaka ends up escaping. Once that happens, he wakes up and sees the lady. She tells him that, hey, I still need, we basically gotta think of a new plan and stuff like that. And he basically tells her, hey, if you want to save Nem, go into the dream world to save her yourself. All I care about is taking down Code. And she basically says that, if anything happens to her, you know what's gonna happen, right? And he says that I'm gonna do whatever. He said, I'm gonna take them down regardless anyway. I'm gonna take down Code, and I'm gonna take down Sieg. So with that being said, we see that Odaka, or Nox, he ends up going into one of the dreamscapes, and he sees that there's this door there. There's this one door that how you have the three doors, the three gray doors. He sees one of the doors, and one of it is shaking, like someone's trying to open the door viciously, like someone's trying to get out. He looks in and he sees a cat nightmare. It's a black and red cat nightmare. That this is a really nice design nightmare. I really like the nightmare in this episode. It wasn't all big and bulky and just whatever, right? This nightmare looked very unique. It had like a Cheshire cat feel going for it, even though it was black and red, but it still had like a really Cheshire cat type of thing going. And Minami and Baku end up seeing that same, Baku ends up seeing that same cat nightmare while he's in his dream, and it attacks him and it makes him wake up. But we see that Minami, for some reason, is like infected by this nightmare or altered by this nightmare, and she has like a red cat tail, and everybody's like, what the heck is going on? So Baku he's hysterical about this. He ends up trying to make himself go to sleep by counting sheep. He ends up counting up to 100,000 sheep. No, 100 million. He ends up counting up to 100 million sheep, and he makes himself go to sleep. We also saw that our two officers end up going to the hideout that Odaka was in, and he's not there. He has left, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna run into Fuji is like, we're gonna run into him eventually because he's gonna need Baku just like we need Baku. So we get into the dream, and he ends up going, we see that Baku ends up going into the dream, and he's still the same way, it's still like the same way it was before, but he's sitting there talking to Nem. And while he's talking to Nem, we see that Minami ends up getting attacked by Sieg, because in her dream, and Minami's mission was to basically find a cat for this little girl. So she's like at this the shore of like a river, and she looks into the water, and she sees the nightmare. She sees the cat nightmare. So Sieg ends up coming up to her and basically attacking her. And when Baku gets there, he sees the cat nightmare, but he doesn't see Minami. Turns out he starts to fight this cat nightmare. He's beating the crap out of this cat. And while he's fighting the cat, we see that Odaka comes in, he intercepts them, and he basically is fighting off Sieg, because Sieg doesn't want Nox, he doesn't want Nox to tell Baku what's going on. And he stops him, and he basically tells him that, hey, that cat nightmare, that's Minami. You can't attack Minami. Well, you can't like destroy it. You can't kill it. You have to, that's Minami. And when he sees the cat nightmare, ends up like falling down from exhaustion and also get beat the crap out of. And it turns into Minami. It turns into her. And Baku's like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that I just almost killed my sister. And, he ends up going back into his civilian form, because the way Catastrum works is like it's all rage, so he has to like destroy or defeat whatever he's fighting, and if he hesitates at any moment, it'll like backfire, and he feels a lot of pain from it, turning him back into his civilian form. He runs over and grabs Minami, and when he grabs her, he's hysterical. It's not, bro is holding her, hoping that she doesn't die. She's all bloodied up. It's terrible. I was like, man. And Sieg is pissed. Sieg is pissed off because like, man, I was trying to, dang. He looks at Odaka, and he's like, yeah, that's one thing I don't like about you. So we get a little flashback of Sieg ended up going to the same door, that same door that was shaking vigorously, and he looks into the door, and he sees like Baku in the door this time, but he alters it and changes it into the bad dream of Baku killing Minami. So that almost came to fruition. So thank God Odaka found out everything, and he was there at the end of the day. So turns out when he tells Baku is that, hey, you won't have to worry about you don't have to worry about that, because that nightmare was her night. She was the dreamer, but the nightmare was altered, and that's how she was able like to turn into it. But you don't have to worry, because Minami is not your real family. She's actually a code secret agent. And yeah, but like, how does Odaka know that? Well, it makes sense that he would know something like that, because he is a former code member, and we don't know how long he was in code, but maybe he most likely have seen Minami around and stuff like that, so that's most likely how he knows. So yeah, our episode basically ends with Baku finding out that his sister is not his sister, and she's actually a secret agent from code, and she's been on like this mission from code, I guess, to keep watch on Baku or something like that. We're gonna find out all that in the next episode, most likely. Well, definitely. And we're gonna get the debut of Ordern in the next episode as well, so I'm really looking forward to that. But man, this episode, they just keep giving Baku more and more freaking trauma, because we gotta find out what is code. How much of an influence has code had on Baku's life to this point? I really need to know. And what did Odaka mean by real family? I need to know that as well. But Sieg, you're an asshole. But other than that, if you guys made it this far into the video, I thoroughly do appreciate it. Man, I'm going to see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As remember, as I always say, stay henshin.
Yeah, the shining golden sign.